All right, let's talk Michael Penix of the Atlanta Falcons, and really just the Falcons as a whole offensively. A game that they nearly found a way to win despite being underdogs heading into it. Ultimately, though, not being able to pull off this victory and falling to 3-6. Let's talk about what they did, and also let's talk about, kind of at the end of this video, is there still hope for this Atlanta Falcons team, even off of a loss and being 3-6, because they were able to show enough fight in this game? But also let's talk about what ultimately cost them the games. Let's just get into it. Let's start off with this one, the one you see on your screen, a fun play here by the Falcons. So Colts are playing zone coverage. So, I think some people have questions about how you get Drake London on a linebacker at the end of this play. This is how you do it. So cover 2 zone here for the Indianapolis Colts. And what is Atlanta going to do? Well, first they have a wide receiver who's going to be running. This is actually Kyle Pitts. And you notice how he is the receiver who's on the line right here. So interesting enough, that's how they're doing it with the tight end there. But it's Kyle Pitts, who's kind of hybrid tight end wide receiver. He's running a very important setup route, trying to take the safety out of position. And if he's running that way, well, as a safety, you have to go in that direction. Then Pitts will kind of follow him, ultimately runs away from the safety. And the idea is that for Indianapolis, well, what do you do in that situation? There's no safety deep. Someone who's covering over the middle has to pick up London, and it's going to end up being a linebacker. Watch as when this play begins, corner on a halfback, you have a safety on a tight end, and you have a linebacker on the number 1 wide receiver. It's a good scheme by Atlanta. It's also, this is how you beat this coverage, right? If you know what coverage is coming, you can beat it, and I think that's definitely a really important factor here. Although to talk about the actual catch itself, so first, London had to get open against a linebacker, something you expect him to do, but still, he's able to run the route and get open against the linebacker. But B, the difficulty with London on this play is the ball's kind of right over his head, and those are tough catches. It's actually easier when it's a little bit off to one side or the other side, because you're wearing a helmet. It's hard to make sure you can keep the vision on the ball the entire way. However, he is able to reach up, make that grab, and get into the end zone for a touchdown. Really good job there by Drake London to be able to pull that play off. Good throw from Penix and great scheme. Everything working well there for Atlanta. Also, let's go over here, because we have a tendency when we talk about Atlanta to, on a play that works, credit Michael Penix last, right? But this was a good Michael Penix play. This is a zone coverage concept. Once again, it's Drake London. Listen, the Atlanta Falcons offense kind of runs when Bijan and Drake London run, right? That's how they're built. But you see he's going over the middle on this play. Atlanta is going to run a play action. It's Tyler Algier, although Bijan Robinson is running a route down the field. You see Penix looks over the middle, and Indianapolis has this covered over the middle. Again, usually the way you want it to work is the play action gets linebackers out of position for Drake London's route, which is going more over the middle. You hope that there is a gap in coverage, but there can be gaps further towards the bottom of the screen as well. If you keep running the route, eventually you can get open if there is a gap in coverage at some point. It doesn't have to be over the middle. It's just usually over the middle because that's just when the timing of the play works. So watch Penix add some extra time, and then London is able to find a gap, gets open, and makes the catch. So that's Michael Penix. It's blocking, right? Blocking definitely has to be a factor there as well, but it's Penix understanding the situation, understanding he can move to gain more time, and does a great job of it. So really good stuff there by him. But there were some mistakes as well. So this one, it's a 3rd down and 8, and I think this is pretty early. There's still 7 seconds before the ball is going to get snapped, but I think Penix still does not notice this, which is not ideal because, sometimes these things happen right as, the ball is getting snapped, and you can kind of understand the quarterback not spotting it. It's still really hard with 7 seconds left, but you see I've circled the Indianapolis player. Watch what he's going to do. Watch him step in, and now I'm going to cut ahead just another 5 seconds or so, but just because they cut to a different angle. But you see, he moves in. With around 7 seconds, he moved to the line. He is now at the line still with 0 seconds on the clock, as, they give you an extra second basically before a delay of game, so no penalty here. But really, Penix needs to spot this. He doesn't have the blocking set up properly for something like this, just because there is, 2 offensive linemen blocking towards their right. You have a halfback who's in the game as well. but there are 4 potential Colts players who could be blitzing there. So for Penix, he just has to be aware of that. He's a right-handed quarterback, he's a left-handed quarterback, so towards his right, he can get blindsided. So he has to spot very early on in this play if there is going to be a lopsided pressure. Instead, Penix, takes a snap and doesn't notice it, and that's the issue. Ball pops out there. I'm not going to blame him for the protection not being set. You have a lot to do at the line. Things are going quickly. It is what it is. Things happen, right? But once you spot that, you at least have to, when you take the snap, see if there's a numbers disadvantage, and if there is, at least not fumble the football. So I will put some blame on him for that one. Again, really good defensive play by the Colts. I don't mind that this, sometimes sacks happen, like it is what it is, but you want it to just be a sack and not more than that. A couple other real opportunities for the Falcons were just missed. So this one, Kyle Pitts, that was just a drop. I mean, he had a ton of yards there. This one, Michael Penix just laid on that throw, right? I'll show it again. Really for Penix, he had an opportunity if he gets that ball there a little earlier. Pitts, that was a one-on-one matchup with Pitts that he just dominated it. Should have had a touchdown on that play, which would have given them an 8-point lead. Instead, not able to convert there to have to settle for a field goal. And then there was also this play, which didn't end up actually affecting them, but on a 3rd and 8, that could have been a pick 6 by Sauce Gardner. It was a great defensive play from Sauce Gardner, but listen, just because it's a play that doesn't go wrong, it's still things you have to work on, right? As a team who, did not get off to the start this season that you were hoping, if you're a Falcons fan, if you are going to, completely turn things around, you have to fix some of these issues if you're going to be able to, to consistently get wins in the NFL. We did have this play from Penix, which was a really strong play when they needed it. I thought Penix this entire drive was very good. Algier kind of got all the credit, and rightfully so. He deserved a lot of credit. But Penix made some plays as well. The Colts had just taken the lead, go up 5 points, but aren't able to get the 2-point conversion. So a touchdown could take the lead. You're going to see that the Colts apply pressure here, and this is a tough situation for Penix on 1st and 10. And he could just throw it at Bijan Robinson's feet, who's out there. But again, you don't want to get nothing here. I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if that's what he decided to do. I think I would defend him if that's his decision. I would probably praise him, actually, if that was his decision and what he was able to do. Instead, watch him get out of this pressure, and he's going to somehow get a completion out of this. They gain around 8 yards or so. He made a few just on-script plays as well, and they're able to, get that touchdown that gave him the lead, ultimately not able to, hold the lead. Their defense wasn't, but still, really good stuff by Penix here. However, I do have to say, heading over here, there were a couple of mistakes by Penix in terms of missed throws, and maybe these are miscommunication things as well. This one's an important play, though. It's 3rd and 7. They're still up a point. If they can get a drive going, like you feel good about yourself with 7 minutes left, Penix is going to take the snap. It looks like they have a player open. He throws it, with anticipation. If that's complete, you're in field goal range, and 3 points. This game went to overtime, right? So that would have really mattered in this situation. And again, did he expect his receiver to cut a little bit earlier? Probably, right? But ultimately, an opportunity that the Falcons had, weren't able to connect on it. And there were multiple 2nd downs in overtime. This one, 2nd and 9, looked like there was a window, but I think expecting Mooney to cut a little bit earlier there as well. It looked like this one, I think he just sailed it a little bit. That would have been a tough play, but hey, it's overtime against, one of the best teams in the AFC, the best team in the AFC record-wise. You kind of gotta make some of these tough throws if you're going to win it, right? And they weren't able to do that. So ultimately, Falcons, while they did some nice things in this game, especially defensively, I was really impressed with their defense in this game. But offensively, there were just, a few mistakes too many. And for a team that, again, still can turn things around. You are 3-6. That's a tough situation to be in, but it's not a death sentence. We have seen teams do things like that before, and there is an extra wild card spot now compared to what there used to be. You have the 7 playoff teams in each conference now, but there's essentially no margin for error, and this win would have gone a long way, so tough to let it get away from them. That's what I think. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you, and of course, as always, thanks for watching.